It's Jess with Craft with Jess, and today I'm going to make my little gingerbread man that I use for my Christmas tree skirt during the holidays. So let's gather all of our supplies. I'm using some brown ribbon yarn. This is specifically from hooked.co.uk, and it's a little bit lighter than your typical t-shirt yarn. And I just kind of had this on hand, and it's the perfect color. Then you're going to need some other scrap yarn, so like whatever you have in the house, some white, some black, and some red for the buttons and the eyes and stuff. And you're going to need a size 9mm hook. Don't be a stickler about the hooks. Like if you have a size 8 or a size 10, like it's okay. Your work is just going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. And then you're going to want to get a tapestry needle. So typically for t-shirt yarn, I like to use this plastic one. It's a little bit easier to go in and out of t-shirt yarn with this. But you can also use the typical little metal hooks. And grab some accessories. If you don't want to use yarn to accessorize your little gingerbread man, then you can just like buy some little Christmas clips and things to accessorize your gingerbread man. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's get started. We're going to make a slip knot onto our hook. And you're going to chain 2. You're going to skip the first chain, and in the second chain, make 2 single crochet. Chain 1 and turn. And for the next rows, row 2, 3, and 4, we're going to just single crochet across. So 1 and 2. Chain 1, turn. 1, 2, chain 1, turn. 1, 2. And that's one leg. And we're going to cut that. Leave yourself a tail. That's one. Going to make another one. Unless you want your gingerbread man to have one leg, you can do them all different. Okay. We're going to do 2 chains. Skip the first, go into the second, make 2 single crochet. Chain 1. And for the next 3 rows, we're just going to go across. So 1, 2, chain 1, turn. 1, 2, chain 1, turn. 1, 2. Okay. Now you're not going to cut this one. Make sure you get your knot nice and tight down there. You're going to now combine your 2 legs. So starting on the body now. So you're going to chain 1 and turn. And I kind of like my legs, see how you want your legs to go. And you're going to just single crochet into every stitch. So to combine it. So you're going to do 1, 2, and then you're going to go directly into the next stitch and do a single crochet. 1, and into the very last one. Oops. 2. Okay, now you got 2 little legs. Adjust your yarn. You can stop and tie in these strings now if you feel better like that, or at the end, whatever. So working on the body, we're gonna chain 1 and turn, and we're gonna single crochet across 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And the next row, we're going to chain 1, And we're gonna skip the first, go into the next with a single crochet, and then skip the next and go into the last with a single crochet. And that just kind of cinches the waist together just a little bit. And now we've got to cut our yarn. Leave yourself a tail. Okay, to make the arms, we're gonna now take our new yarn and we're gonna slip knot onto our hook. And we're going to chain 3. And now we're gonna single crochet into the body. So we got 2 stitches here. That was our stitch count. So we're gonna do 1, 2, making single crochet stitches. So just go directly in the hole, yarn over, do your single crochet. In your next hole, yarn over, do your single crochet. And then you're gonna chain 3 more. Make sure you're grabbing the right strand of yarn here. 1, 2, and 3. You can see how maybe it's easier to tie in your ends before you move on to the next body part, but I just kind of pull a string and then I'll do it later. To get to the next row, you're gonna chain 1 and turn. Now you gotta go back across, going into every stitch. So you're gonna skip the chain one that you did, and you're gonna do 3 across. So find the top of your stitches and you're gonna do 1 single crochet into the next, 2 single crochet into the next, chain 3 single crochet. Let me get some yarn, it's getting tight. And then working into the top of the body, you're working into those stitches. That's 1, and the next one 2, and then working across the chain, you got 3 chains. So 1, 2, and 3. And this is my knot. Okay, chain 1, next row, you're gonna just single crochet across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, that's the arms, and now we're gonna cut. Okay, and now let's say I want this to be the front. That's okay. We're gonna do the head. So grab some more yarn. Okay, so you're gonna go into the 4th stitch from the beginning of the row. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where you're gonna go in right here. Looking at it, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the middle, okay? So you're gonna pull up a loop. So you're just gonna lay your yarn over your hook like this, come through and chain 1. That's gonna be your first fake single crochet. And I'm gonna do my next single crochet beside it. And at the same time, I'm gonna crochet over my yarn back there. So just like so. Now that's the way I like to do it. Some people do the standing single crochet, but then you got to make a knot and it's more bulky and I don't really like it. I feel like this is like very hideable. It looks the same. So then you're going to chain 1 and turn, and you're going to do 2 single crochet in each stitch. 1, 2, and then in your chain, you're just going to go through the loop, 1, and I can even pick up another loop here, 2. Okay, chain 1 and turn, Now you should have 4. And in this round, you're going to just single crochet across. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 1 and turn. And you're going to skip the first stitch, go into the second, make a single crochet, skip this stitch and go into the second. And there you go. Now is the time that I would tie in the ends, because we're going to slip stitch all the way around, and it looks better if you tie in the ends now. So get out a tapestry needle. Don't cut your yarn, you're going to need it. And go ahead and tie in your ends. Okay, so I have tied in all my ends, and now I'm going to slip stitch all the way around. So you're just going to kind of pull up a thread, pull up a loop, and you're going to go through and slip stitch. And you want to kind of put one in for each row, if that makes sense. You don't want to put too many in a row, so I got 1 for this row, 1 for this row, and I'll do 1 for this row. You don't want to have too many or not enough, because then it will pull. So I'm going to do 1 here. Now, I found that if you do 1 in the little neck crevice, it kind of indents more and it looks cute. So I'm going to put a little stitch right there. That's why I was saying in the pattern to watch the video. Okay, now you're going to go across the arm. And of course, if you don't like a stitch, you can always go back, take it out. You can do it tighter, whatever. Go across the hand. Oops. You don't want to pull up both loops really, just like 1 loop. And you can make these gingerbread all day. It gets addicting, let me tell you. Once you get the hang of it, and you're sitting on the couch with a glass of wine, you start making these gingerbread man, you can make 20 of them. And you can use them for just about anything. I mean, I put them on my Christmas tree skirt pattern, but you can hang them on the tree and put candy canes in them. You can decorate a wreath with them. You can do anything. You can give them to someone as a gift just for fun. So, okay, so now we're at the waist. So same thing here. Let me take this out. I did, a stitch for the arm, but you want to do a little stitch right there too, just so that it pulls in the waist and it looks more evident. The shape is more evident. So I'm just going to kind of grab a stitch, make sure my loops are all kind of tight. There we go. Then we're going to go down the leg. Okay, and go ahead and do that all the way around, and I will meet you guys back at the beginning. Okay, so we've gone all the way around, and now we're going to cut this off, and we're gonna sew in this here, and then we're gonna go around with our white stitching. So whenever I connect my slip stitches, I do an invisible slip stitch border. And if you haven't ever learned this, this is great. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go underneath your connecting, where you wanna connect. So I'm gonna go underneath that stitch, pull through. Then I'm gonna go back through the top of my other stitch, through the top, and kind of come out through the back wherever I can. Okay. And when you pull it, it kind of just looks like another stitch. And I've been doing this for years. It hides so well that you can't even find where you stopped and started. So I love it. Okay, I'm just gonna sew this back through here. And there we go. Okay. All right, so taking your white yarn, I'm using a little bit smaller yarn, obviously, just whatever I have in my house, just because it's easier to work with. So grab yourself a needle, and you can use this needle or you can use a smaller one since you're using smaller yarn. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out my other needles. And oh, you know what? These ones I have here, they're pointy tips, and that is not great when you're working with yarn. So just if you're about to go buy some needles, don't get these. You wanna get the rounded tips, because you know what's gonna happen? It's gonna catch on all the threads and it's gonna be a pain. So I'm not gonna use these, I'm gonna use my plastic one. And I'm just gonna thread this through. You can twist your yarn and pinch it with your fingers. There you go. All right, and you're gonna get plenty of yarn, so you don't have to cut and get more. So you're gonna put your needle underneath the inside. You could do the outside loop or the inside loop, it doesn't matter. And you're gonna pull up a big string. I'm gonna cut this, so I have plenty of yarn to work with. Okay, and then you're gonna go working through the bottom loop. So I'm gonna go to inside the next one. I'm gonna pull through. Okay, and you're gonna see that it starts to loop around. It's kind of finicky at the beginning because you got a lot of string to work with. Now, if you don't want to do it like this, there's lots of ways you could do this. You could just do stitching around the arms and legs. You could also use glue and get like a pretty sparkly white glue and do glue around. You don't have to stick with the same materials. It's fun to mix and match materials. I especially love to do that when I make purses. You know, adding leather and like gold snaps and stuff. It just makes it look a little bit more fancy. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and go around. And like I said, this is the most fun part. You know, once you start doing the looping, it's so easy. You can just sit on the couch and do this for hours. And before you know it, you're gonna be making like 20 of these for all your friends. Oops. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back at the beginning. Okay, so I've come all the way around, and I'm just gonna throw my needle here somewhere in a hole and go through the back, and then I'm gonna, okay, then I'm gonna take my other string and also thread it, throwing it in the back here. Let's see. Sometimes you get caught up on threads. Okay, there we go. Now it's like hidden. And then you're gonna flip over your work and you're just gonna tie a knot. And no one's gonna see this side anyway. Okay, and cut your threads. Okay, now we have to do the eyes and then the buttons. I chose to do mine with thread, you know, crochet yarn. I have a whole box of extra stuff in here, and I just kind of pick and choose. But you don't have to do that. You can use actual eyes that you get from the craft store in buttons. And you can do like a little bow tie, like instead of the yarn that I have that I tied on in the picture, you can use like a clip, a hair clip. Like this is my daughter's little hair clip, and you can just kind of clip that on there like so. And isn't that cute? Like I said, like when you mix and match materials, things start getting to look real nice. This one, oh my gosh, that's so cute. I like the silver one. So I also found this cute hat at the store, and it's a clip again for, you know, hair. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's perfect for my gingerbread man. So you can like clip that on there. Maybe it goes kind of like that or something. But isn't that so cute? It just makes it look a little bit more expensive, right? But if you do want to use, you know, the traditional method of making everything 100% by hand and using thread, then let's do that. So get out some scrap yarn, anything will do. If you don't want to thread it with a needle, you can also tie a knot and hot glue it. And you're going to need a hot glue gun for attaching it to the Christmas tree skirt that you're going to make. Follow my other video for that. So you're just going to stick this in here. And for the eyes, you know, find a good spot. I always come up from the bottom first and find another slot and stick your needle in there and go through the other way. Now, actually, it might be better for me to use my other needle for this because this time I do want to go through the threads. I'm gonna stick it through and puncture the thread, and that will kind of make it stay. Okay, there we go. And you're gonna make, you know, leave it nice and loose. You can do that a couple times, going back and forth and back and forth. You can even do an X. I'm just gonna do it one time. And then I'm gonna find another spot on the other side. And coming through, I'm not gonna pull too much. I don't wanna pull my eye over here too much. And same thing, just find a spot. If you puncture the threads, like this is what I mean, you see how it's not around the loop? It's gonna kind of secure it in place. Now, there you go. Now you can add eyelashes for a girl, you can add eyebrows, you can make him mean, you can make him sad, you know, you can play around with your gingerbread man. So now I'm just gonna do his smile, gonna come up here, and then I'm just gonna do a little stitch. This is also a great project to do with kids, this part of it. You know, this is something easy that any bigger kid can do. They can do this type of stitching. Oops, came out there. I'm just gonna do 3 stitches. Oh, his eye kind of disappeared. Gotta fix that, okay. There we go. All right, so that's kind of the idea of what you're gonna do for stitching. And then you're gonna, you know, you can take this side, you can tie a knot like that. If you don't want to tie a knot, you could just thread it through. But since no one's gonna see this, because I'm using these for my tree skirt and I'm gonna hot glue them down, I don't care what the back looks like. But if you're hanging this on a Christmas tree, you're gonna want to hide your threads. Okay, so. All right, and then the buttons, it's going to be the same concept. Use, you know, red or any color or whatever, and then accessorize. So I'm just going to throw in my little bow tie. How cute. And my little hat, and oh my gosh. You could also crochet him a hat, you know, make him a scarf, or, you know, stick a candy cane in there, the mini ones. Some people also stick a whole candy cane through both hands, and they hang that on the tree. You can, you know, put a loop in there. So let me show you how you would do that if you wanted to hang this on the tree. Just gonna take a loop, take some yarn, find a space, pull it up like that, and there you go. Look, you got a string, tie a knot. You can make anything, you guys. You guys are great. You can do anything you want to do. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? Okay, so now we're going to take our gingerbread man and attach him to the Christmas tree skirt. or any project that you're working on. And I already have one here done, and I've done them all on my skirt. So you're just gonna use your glue gun, unless you wanna tie it in with the ends from before. Instead of tying those in the back, you can sew it onto the skirt, but I just find it so much easier to hot glue gun it. So you're gonna put glue around, you're gonna stick it on there, and that's how you're gonna attach the gingerbread men. And I kind of just like left the legs loose because I thought that looked cute. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas.